Hello, I'm Sophiralou and welcome to my channel.
Hello guys and welcome to Spooky Month. This month's fan art video is dedicated to one of my all-time favourite Halloween films and probably one of my all-time favourite films called Hocus Pocus. If you have not seen it yet, I do highly recommend you watch it. I will not talk about the film too much as of yet. When I do, I will obviously let you know about spoilers. This film came out in 1993 and I was born in 1991, so if anyone wants to do the maths, yes, I'm 25 years old, and this film was my childhood. Everything about it, this was just, I remember watching this every Halloween, and I remember crying every time. I remember watching it with my family and my mum and my dad, and we were curled up on the sofa. I remember lying on the carpet watching it, and I remember reciting it to the point where I knew every single word of this film. It was such a huge inspiration and it struck such a chord with me. I'm going to list the equipment I'm using in this video now. I used a Windsor and Newton ink, my daily Rownbey mixed media pad, a Unipin fine liner. I used my Letraset promarkers, my uniball signo white pen, and another pen that I've recently picked up, which is a paint marker. It's a very interesting thing. I'm not quite used to it yet. It's a Liquitex paint marker. I'm not quite used to it, so I can't really give my views on it properly yet. But a lot of this was mainly about experimenting, because I knew when I did the piece I wanted the three main characters, the three main witches from the film, and to have this sort of like almost iconic. When you see the front cover of Hocus Pocus, there are a few different versions, and one of them I really like is the one where the main character, Winfrey, who's the one in the middle with a big red curly hair, she has her hands almost pointed, curled upwards, and there's like lightning coming up, and I just love that cover. I love the colours in that because it's just so striking. I think with Hocus Pocus, I think the reason why it struck a chord with so many 90s children, and when it does struck a chord to so many today, is it's a very iconic film. You will always remember at least like one line from Hocus Pocus, and my favourite is like literally whenever a film or like a game or anything mentions the title in its actual, like, you know, when they do like a speech and they go, and my favourite line is it's all just a bunch of hocus pocus, and it makes me laugh every time because it's just so funny. So warning right now, if you do not want any spoilers about the film, I will recommend that you probably don't listen in the minute. If you have not seen this film, please go and watch it and remember it for what it is. It is just such, for its time, it was everything to me. Okay, so spoilers. This film has everything for me. I freaking love this film. I would go as far as say it is, honest to God, one of my hands down favourite films that ever came out from the 90s. I don't know what it is. I think it's the costumes they wear. They were all very funny. I loved Mary. Mary is for those who don't know, if you're listening, Mary is the chubbier character, and she has this iconic, like, almost like her face has been hit by a spade, so her lips are almost skewed to an angle. And she always, her power is that she can smell children. She can hunt down the children for their spat. And honestly, she's my favourite character because everything the actress does to emote that character is phenomenal. Sarah is, played by Sarah Jessica Parker, is a very sexual character. She has a beautiful haunting voice used to lure the children, and that scene where she's flying in the cape with a cape and it's all flowing, she's singing a song across the broom, it is so beautiful. And then of course we've got the lead, Winfrey. Oh my god. That scene where she's literally, Bette Midler, I do not understand how you did not get any awards for playing Winfrey, because that scene with I put a spell on you is so phenomenal. It is genuinely amazing. The characterization, there's just like one shot in the film I forever remember it, and it's just where the guy in the announcer, he's like dressed up as a skeleton, and he's like singing to her and he's going, I put a spell on you, and she looks at him like eyebrows one cocked and her hand just placed, and she just looks very like, you have no idea. And it just cracks me up every time. I genuinely think it's actually hilarious. But yeah, this film means so much to me because it played such a huge part in my childhood, and it reminds me of Halloween every single time. And I cannot, you know, if anyone asks me if I can remember, there's a handful of films I always remember as a kid. One of them was Little Mermaid, which I really want to do a Little Mermaid fan out one day. One of them was Nightmare Before Christmas. Now, I was going to do a Nightmare Before Christmas fan art, or I was going to do a Corpse Bride one, because they're two very iconic films which I love, which are directed by Tim Burton, and Tim Burton, I don't know what it is, it's just everything he does is so stylized, and I really like it because it's got its flair to it. You can tell a Tim Burton film. But I felt like that was too overdone, and for me, Hocus Pocus, it just plays such a bigger part for me for Halloween. It is a Halloween film, whereas possibly would argue that Nightmare Before Christmas is more of a Christmas film. Don't get into that debate. It always has. Like, what do you think? Do you think Nightmare Before Christmas is a Halloween film or a Christmas film? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you have any particular film from your childhood that you remember and it kind of strikes a chord with you? Do you kind of guys have like any Halloween films that you will forever remember because you can literally just go, Halloween, that film, that I remember that film. I'm sorry if I clipped the headphones in. There will always be a film that you will forever remember in your childhood, and you will forever remember little bits that, you know, strike a chord. Like one of my other favourites is Casper. Because it was such a cute film and it made me cry. For some reason, all my favourite films make me cry. Yeah, I think there's something wrong there. With this piece, I wanted to do everything to do with this film because honestly, I love everything about it. And I really was trying to get the costumes as perfect as I possibly could. I know they're not. I know there's parts that are wrong with them. This piece is not perfect in any way, shape or form, but I'm really happy with the way this came out. You'll notice in a bit what's basically happens is I'm building up the layers on this, and then it's gonna cut to where this piece is no longer on the white piece of paper. That's because I cut it out, and I didn't really want to show me cutting out paper on the video, mainly because I know that some people are a bit sensitive with scissors, and I didn't want anyone to be upset in any way, shape or form. That's what the cut is there. This is because I realised that the moon shape in the background that I had on there wasn't working because I couldn't build up the layers the way I wanted. So what I did was I cut this main section out and I built up the layers on this. This was so that I could build up the background on a separate piece, which will be shown in a bit. This was because I wasn't happy with the way it was going. I mean, there's a lot that you can say to improve the piece, but it's a lot that you can, when you notice something isn't working, it's good to take a step back and go, okay, how could I utilise my mistakes to, you know, make this better. So you can see here I've got a new piece of paper, and what I'm doing is a nice ink wash. This is just Windsor and Newton ink, then it's having bronze paint sprinkled over the top to get some like sparkle effect to it, which then is brushed back in using the Letraset and the gel marker to make stars, and then I kind of make a moon and put the moon on, and then I build up the layers by using craft glue. Also the background has a little bit of blue acrylic on it, and this is just to lift up the black so it isn't so dark. Now it isn't as noticeable on the actual piece now it's all dried, but you can tell that areas have been broken up, and this gives the piece much more texture. This is kind of how I work with like digital painting. I tend to do the background separate from the actual piece, instead of having to like build the piece and incorporate it all around it. This is because this way I can build up the background as much as I want, and if I need to move the section around, I can do. And this is what I love doing about digital work, is that I have that freedom. Now it does mean that sometimes you end up overworking a background. I actually really enjoy doing that because I think it helps it more. Now if you were doing a storybook illustration, you kind of build the background around the characters, whereas if you're doing actual physical animation, or if you are doing anything to be done for like character design, or if you're doing anything for an animation, you will have to do the background and then the character, or you'll work around the piece. It's very, very interesting. It's kind of how I work almost. So just putting the finishing touches to this, adding white gel pen and highlighting certain areas, going in with a pencil brush to thicken certain areas and put the words "I put a spell on you" to play tribute to one of my favourite songs in the actual piece. I'd like to hear what you guys are up to this Halloween, and if you guys have done any spooky fan art, feel free to link me down below. I love seeing your work. I think you are all very talented and amazing, and I just love seeing how everyone would approach a piece in different ways. Also, if you guys have done any Hocus Pocus fan art, oh my god, please show me. I want to discuss with you about my favourite show because it's amazing at just everything. If they ever did a TV show about Hocus Pocus, I might literally die. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed my nostalgia trip through Hocus Pocus. I hope you liked the piece. If you do, leave a like, maybe comment about your favourite 90s film or any film that you remember from your childhood. And maybe subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content. And as always, stay creative.